everyone. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. We're going to start off our council meeting for July 11th, and we're going to start with the approval of June 13 minutes, please. Could I have a motion?
I'll make a motion. We approve the June 13 minutes.
I'll second the motion.
Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Also, I'd like to have a motion for the receipt of the June 2023 check register.
I'll make a motion that we accept receipt of the June 2023 check register.
I'll second.
Questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, I'm going to move on with the mayor's report. A couple quick things. We are on for voluntary water restrictions. So effective June 1st of 2023, what that means is we're in stage 2. So limiting washing of sidewalks, driveways, patios, decks, porches, automobiles, trailers, boats, and limit the use, that we use anything, any water for anything. Let's really try to keep it to a minimum unless we really need to. Obviously, there's certain things we need to use water for, but those things, if we could just keep it to a minimum for now, since we haven't had a lot of rain, and hopefully we'll start to get some and we can maybe make some changes, but as of now, that's where we are with that. If you have any questions on that, you can certainly call the town and ask if there's a certain restriction that you're questioning. National Night Out is August 1st from 6 to 8 at the Manchester Volunteer Fire Department Carnival Grounds. It's a great time for the kids. Everyone comes out. It's free. So please bring your family and come out. We have a lot of things here. The police are here, the fire department, all kinds of neat things for the kids to enjoy. So please come out. Yard waste pickup is on Wednesdays through December 13th. And that just consists of grass clippings, leaves, small branches, not in excess of 3 feet in length or 4 inches in diameter. So please bundle them, and they must be placed in a large paper bag or a container that's marked for yard waste. Otherwise, they won't be picked up if they're in plastic bags or things like that. Also, for recycling, while we think it's wonderful everybody recycles, please, 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 if it's windy, do not put it out until the morning of. Because I find people chasing milk jugs down the road and everything else in the yards, and it doesn't make it look very nice either. So that would be great if we could do that. One last thing about the grass clippings. We've been asked, please don't rake or blow them in the storm drains. They're clogging the drains and causing them to flood. Please just rainwater down there, and we'd really appreciate it. It just saves a lot of trouble and things down the road. So please, let's consider that. The water bills were mailed out on June 29th. We were notified by some residents that they've received their neighbor's bills in error. So call the town if you haven't received it yet. I know I found my neighbor's, I think it blew away, but I took it down and I gave it to them. So they're due July 30th. So anybody, if you haven't gotten them, please call the town. We'll get you a duplicate, or we can let you know what's due, or however you want to handle it. Couple quick things. With permits, if you're putting up a shed, you're doing anything that you're not sure about, please call the town. We're having some issues with people making some changes and not getting permits, whether they be zoning permits or permits from the county, whatever. But call us. We can kind of point you in the direction of what you need to do. That would be great. Also, the carnival was last week. We had a great turnout. I was there a couple nights. It was really crowded, which was great to see a lot of people. I think all in all, things went well. While it's not a town function, it is a fire department function, and we do try to attend. There was a lot of people within the town that worked to help, to facilitate it and make it a nice event. So, the police department were there. They worked. It was wonderful. They were a great help. And some of even the people that work for the town volunteered. So it was really, really nice to see that. It's nice to have that. Also, the only other thing is we had a few birthdays, and I want to try to mention them. I know they may not want to hear it, but our town manager, Alex Carroll had one that I missed at the last meeting. We have one of the officers that had a birthday that I hope we didn't miss on July 1st. Spencer. And Danielle's birthday is today, so happy birthday. I think that's about it. If we think of anything else, I will let you know, but I think that's all I have for now. Thank you. Town Administrator report.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, the residents. Thank you very much for the birthday wishes. I think I'm on the other side of the more birthday kind of numbers
I
now,
won't
so.
forget.
Thank you. We had the Antietam Broadband Public Meeting held at the at the Fire Department Activities Building. Was not well attended in general. So those that did attend did receive a good bit of information about what they're doing. Work was supposed to have started this week, but we placed it on hold. They have not sent back or agreed to our Public Works agreement. Within that agreement are safeguards for any of the citizens' property that is accidentally damaged if Antietam were to walk away from the project. It also has some other provisions in it that allows the town employees to keep up with marking our facilities, sewer and water lines, and we don't get so far out in front that we lose focus on what's going on in the rest of the town.
So, real quick, just so we're clear on that, this is not sponsored by the town, correct?
Correct.
And the county is taking care of approving this.
So the county has, yes, they don't approve it officially, but they're allowing it to happen.
Okay.
They're using the right-of-way within the infrastructure right-of-ways that are there. No different than if BG&E putting in another power line or the Verizon putting another phone line in. However, they're going to have to cross into private property in some of our areas, and they're going to have to cross over driveways and other areas that would affect our infrastructure. So the PWA agreement just covers the town to make sure they do the right thing.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure the citizens knew that this isn't something that we're
Yeah.
doing. Okay.
Also in that, there's a HUD agreement here by Town Hall. They're going to put the controller for the whole fiber system. So there's an agreement for them to use part of our property, and there's some safeguards in there, not only for the town, but for the infrastructure. So as soon as they're signed and approved, and Madam Mayor, you sign them, they can start construction throughout the town. The annual Consumer Confidence Water Quality Report has been put out for residents' review. It's available on our website. It's also a link was given on the residents' water bills for them to view. If they have any questions that's in the reports, I ask them to please call us here at Town Hall. We'll be more than happy to sit down and explain some of the testing that has been done. As you said, Madam Mayor, we are still in voluntary conservation measures. Now that we're getting into the drier portion of our summer, we don't see those, we don't forecast that voluntary conservation ending anytime soon unless we get a dramatic amount of rain. Monday, Mr. Jaden Miller is our new wastewater operator employee. He started on Monday, came through Town Hall with getting all the things he needed as a new employee, and today he was out in the field with the other employees learning the ropes. So we're glad to have him to fill that empty spot. One of the things I have in number 5, due to increased costs of operation and the ability to maintain Christmas Tree Park, tables, benches, toys, the equipment, bathrooms, as you know we put a new roof on. I would recommend to the mayor and council that we raise the pavilion rental fees beginning October 1st of 23. In your report, I show that we are recommending a small pavilion fee increase from $65 to $90, and also the large pavilion be increased from $95 to $120. So that is something for you all to consider. Finally, unfortunately, the bad news, the Manchester Baptist Church water tower, the standpipe within the center of the tower that allows water to travel in and out for use, is leaking, and it needs major repair. We are on borrowed time. In your packet, I provided you with 2 bids that were given to us by 2 different companies that are able to replace that entire standpipe. So what we're recommending to complete this repair is we're recommending that we use All American Services Incorporated at a cost of $99,100 is the cost of that complete repair. We are asking the mayor and council to approve a total cost of $110,000. That also covers permitting and engineering work that needs to be done prior to that to help certify the work and make the water tower usable again.
Okay.
And this money will be taken from the water area service charge account.
Okay. So, it looks like we're gonna have to make a motion. If someone would make a motion for this, for the approval of the Manchester Baptist Church water tower.
Can I ask a question
I
before we move on?
Sure.
So, do we know what caused this? Because if I'm understanding correctly, or I remember correctly, we did work on that water tower not, too long ago.
I believe we repaired the York Street Tower was the one that had the standpipe service repaired. And this is the
The
All-American.
pump or something? There was something at
We had there's a
Manchester or
boot.
something.
We had a boot replaced there that was leaking.
Okay.
So after the boot was replaced, as we uncovered more and more, now you can see where all the standpipe is actually corroded and the water seeping through.
Okay. And in the bids that we have, is it different materials? How long will they
We
give
went
us?
with, yes, we went with a much thicker metal.
Okay.
And then we're gonna have it actually epoxy painted, and then it'll get welded together to help make it last longer.
Okay.
And then, as you can see in the All-American Services, the shot blast and epoxy coat the interior of the piping, and then there's a cost for the washout and sterilization of the tank after the pipe replacement is done to make sure that everything's good and clean, and then we can put the tower back in service. No, not a disruption. We're just gonna have to manage our water very carefully during that time.
And how long do we think it'll take? Like, what's their estimate on timing from the time we?
About 3 weeks from the time we empty the tank. So that's one of the other things we're working on now. We're trying to empty the tank without wasting the water. Whether we sell it to those that wanna fill pools or other ways, we just don't wanna dump it out into the ground. So we're gonna use it down to a certain level, then we're gonna try to drain the rest, sell it off, and then the tank will be empty. They can get in there, do their thing, and then we'll slowly let it fill back up.
Well, I will make a motion that we accept a bid from All American Services Incorporated in the amount of, what are we saying, $100,000?
$110.
$110,000.
I'll second.
Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
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 Any noes? Motion passes for the Manchester Baptist Church water tower. Also, next, and we'll take questions as well, we need to have a motion for the pavilion fee rentals. From my understanding, after speaking to Alex, and we talked about this a little bit, it seems that what we're collecting isn't even really taking care of paying our guys and cleaning up and things like that. So we'd like to at least increase it enough that we can, at least take care of what we need to take care of for the rentals.
Alex, didn't we raise this recently though?
We did.
Like last year? Was it
Something
last
like
year?
that.
2021.
We do have a charge in for cancellations, correct?
I will double, Kelly, do you know? Cancellation charges?
We give everything back for $25.
Okay.
So in general, a lot of people are just leaving a mess, and that's part of what we're dealing with too.
It's a lot of trash, so we go back in bathrooms,
Okay.
and, to keep up with that, I mean, I'm not saying that people who use the park trash it, but the heavy use on the weekends, we have to keep up with repairing toilets. There was an issue with water fountain before. We're trying to alleviate that, so that's just gonna help us keep ahead of what needs to be repaired. We probably gonna need to go through 2 pavilions to get tables again, make sure they're in good shape so they don't collapse on people. We're also talking about the heavy use of the toys, so we need to keep those inspected and make sure that they're ready to go and make repairs as needed before any children get on them.
And the guys have to come in and take care of that, so it's a weekend and
It's better to have nice stuff. That's why I'm looking at the fee. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's why I'm just asking it.
And
So,
I mean,
thank you.
sorry, even with the fees, when I compared it to some other places, the fees are very reasonable to rent a pavilion for all day, you know, so. Could we have a motion about the pavilion increase?
I'll make a motion, we accept the pavilion increase beginning October 1st, 2023.
I'll second the motion.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So the motion passes. Okay.
Thank you. And just to finish there's nothing for zoning. There'll be no July meeting for the Planning and Zoning Commission, and there are no updates from the zoning report.
Okay.
Thank you.
Rodney, Public Works report?
All right, good evening, Madam Mayor and Town Council. Please see the monthly water and wastewater data report for June 2023. And you may notice our water numbers and sewer numbers are right where you like them. They're trending very well for this time of year. Back to the Antietam Fiber Project, utility marking actually has begun, even though the work has not begun yet. So residents be aware utility marking has begun and will continue for the next, I'm guessing, for 3 to 4 months for the Antietam Broadband Project through many areas through the town. You'll see town staff, town trucks, UtiliQuest, which is another marking for gas and electric trucks and personnel. Water and wastewater, the water line replacement project work continues to progress very well. We're still looking at September to wrap things up. York Street Water Tower rehab, nothing new to report. Wastewater treatment plant aeration leak, tank 2. So tank 2 is very old. It developed a major air leak that we repaired last week. This is a fixed in place rather large pipe which is obsolete and sprung an air leak due to corrosion. Town staff saved the town a large expense and downtime with an innovative repair. The only side effects was a rotten egg smell through the shutdown process. Currently back online and back to normal smells and operation. Great job, town staff. They saved us a lot of money. Charlotte's Quest Nature Center stormwater management proposals are in for the stormwater management project to the driveway. This is an action item coming up shortly. And town street rehab project for this fiscal year. Paving and inspection services bid opening was yesterday, and this is also an action item. So that was short and sweet. That's all I have for tonight. If you have any questions before I move on.
I'm ready for the action item.
Me too. So action item number 1, the Charlotte's Quest Nature Center driveway stormwater management repairs. If you recall, it washes out a lot. We have to grade it a lot. So we reached out to 2 companies, well, more companies, but 2 responded for a solution. So we received 2 proposals, one from Stanball Incorporated for $19,522, White Pine Construction for $21,442. This project includes the installation of 2 stormwater inlets along with 200 feet of 15-inch HDPE storm pipe ending with a deceleration basin to alleviate driveway washout and drainage concerns. So after discussion, I'm requesting approval to award the Charlotte's Quest Nature Center driveway stormwater management project to Stanballs Incorporated in the amount of $19,522, and this was budgeted for in FY24, and it is within budget.
I'll make a motion, we go with the staff recommendation to award the Charlotte's Quest Nature Center driveway stormwater management project to Stanballs Incorporated in the amount of $19,522.
I'll second that.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. Oop,
Opposed?
I'm not opposing.
Okay.
Sure you're not.
For the record, Rodney's not opposed.
Amendment.
Passes. Okay.
All right, thank you. So next in line is the street asphalt rehab project, the paving portion. We received 4 proposals with White Pine Paving Incorporated being the lowest responsible bidder. for $152,632. We have not used them in my tenure, but I did reach out to other municipalities, and they've used them and have had very good luck with them, no problems. This project involves the restoration and paving of various priority roads, 5 in all, and a patch job on Hanover Pike right in front of Sheets. So after discussion, I'm requesting approval to award the street rehab project paving to White Pine Paving Incorporated in the amount of $152,632. This is in the FY24 budget, and it is within budget.
All right, I have two questions.
Yes.
You said it's right in front of Sheets?
Yeah, it was a dig up we had. It's on Route 30, and it's just too involved for us to flag and do ourselves. So it's a patch job in front of Sheets.
On a town road or state highway
It's
road?
state road.
We're still responsible for the final repair for that. So it's actually by the pharmacy.
Okay.
So that's where we had the big leak, the major
This is
leak.
where the- okay.
Yep,
Those
yes,
are-
ma'am.
Okay.
All right, and then my other thing is, I'm a little questioning why there is a $75,000 range in prices between low and high bid. I realize that 3 of them are under, well, 2 of them are under where we anticipated. 1 is slightly more. It just makes me a little nervous that the low bid is so much lower than all the other bids.
I agree. That's why I reached out. We see this a lot. I mean, I'm not going to mention companies, but one company will be really high one year because maybe I'm guessing they don't really need the work and they're throwing a big number out. And the lower numbers, they typically need the work. So that's my opinion. But I did reach out and they do very good work and without issues.
So we're not going to have a bunch of change orders or anything with this number up. Like, I understand certain companies come in lower because they have the ability to make the asphalt and things themselves. They have that facility and they have a large quantity of it. This is not going to be one where it comes in low and then we're going to get hit with a bunch of extra fees or changes or add-ons.
Well, they can try, but I'm very good at holding their feet to the fire. I'll build a lot of catch-alls and saving things into the bid document so that doesn't happen.
So this is in front of Sheets, and there's other spots as well.
Sheets is just a small patch job, and it's Chestnut Street, Maple Street, Oak Street, New Street, and Grafton Street.
Actually, you said it.
2-inch mill and overlay, each one of them.
It's actually in front of the pharmacy, right? More in front of the pharmacy?
Yes, north of the Sheets, in front of the. I'm
Sorry, yeah, we'll say in front of the pharmacy, don't
Yeah.
get the state
Same
highway
one.
confused.
Yeah,
Okay.
north of Sheets, in the northbound lane. And this comes, any restriping comes with this.
Supposed to be a complete job, I assume.
Pardon me?
It's the complete job, I assume.
Yes, flagging, everything, yes.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the White Pine Paving Incorporated bid of $152,632 for the street asphalt rehabilitation project.
I'll second.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Okay. One more, okay, so the street asphalt rehab project inspection services portion, we received 4 proposals for this, and with WBCM LLC for $14,032, and actually I made a mistake on that, it's 25 cents, not 23 cents. My
You're gonna
apologies.
oppose that?
My apologies. They are the lowest responsible bidder. We've used them before, and they've done excellent work. The last 2 years, the year before that, it was Wallace and Montgomery, I believe. So an on-site inspector is critical to this project as to ensure the paving contractor adheres to the scope and specifications set forth in the bid documents. After discussion, I'd like to request approval to award the street asphalt rehab project inspection services to WBCM LLC in the amount of $14,032.25. And this also is within budget.
And when is this one supposed to take place? Do we know?
This is the
Well, this-
inspection services that goes on while the street is
Right.
being milled and then.
So they go
fixed
the
and
whole
approved.
time, it's not just
They-
after, that's what I was asking.
Correct,
I didn't-
yeah, they're there the
okay.
whole time, yes.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
So we'll know the start time. After it's awarded, I'll have a pre-construction meeting, and by next month, I'll know a start time.
Okay, that's okay. I was just kinda wondering when
Yeah.
they start and if they're there the whole time, or is it just a final, or what they do, so, okay, thank you. Anybody else have any other questions? Can we have a motion for the street asphalt rehabilitation project, please?
I'll make a motion to award the street asphalt rehabilitation project inspection services to WBCM LLC in the amount of $14,032.25.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion passes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is that all?
Yes, ma'am.
Police report?
Yes, ma'am. So for the month of July, we handled 184 calls for service. Again, we only had one crime, which involved a theft. The subject actually lived in Landover, Maryland. He was the suspect. We had two second-degree assaults. Both involved juvenile arrests, and they were 16 years of age. We did have a domestic assault. We're going to exceptionally clear that. It's I hate to say it, a typical verbal turned physical assault, and now they don't want to press charges against each other. So overall, crime has been pretty low, which is really good. We do have a destruction of property in the Manchester Elementary School. We do know who the juveniles are. I think 2 or 3 of them are recidivists. One's 12 years old, so we're not going to be able to do much with that person. We're looking at footage to identify the others. Apparently, they were around the playground equipment, made a lot of noise, and destroyed some of the equipment up on the school property. But we do know who they are. We got a couple different ways we can deal with them, one of which may be a nuisance house violation. But we got to see exactly what we have before we go down that road. Traffic enforcement continues. The guys are working hard. I mean, they're definitely issuing their fair share of citations. But again, it's like you get one, I say this over and over, you get one complaint on one side of the town, then you have a complaint on the other side of the town. They issued 274 citations and warnings and had 4 traffic-related arrests. So they're definitely out there. Again, we just need, it's disturbing when we see our own residents speeding through the neighborhood and blowing the stop signs. And a lot of us are seeing that, and that's frustrating. But they're staying on top of it, and they're going to continue with the citations. As the mayor said, the carnival was great. We had great weather. It was good to see all the families out there. But again, we had another juvenile problem. The language these kids are using, it amazes me. And there's really no rhyme or reason behind it. They're just blurting out profanity to do it. You know, when they're running into the big bingo hall and saying absurd words and calling bingo, and just, you know, it's just uncalled for. A lot of the kids, we actually had we had the group that was involved in the destruction of property. None of them were from Manchester or Hampstead, and their parents just dropped them off. So the one parent that we got a hold of was actually shocked that the other parent wasn't with them. And these kids are ranging from 12 to 16. I think the majority of it was 12 to 14 years of age, somewhere in that range. So I don't know. I don't know. We're going to have to look at a couple different ways of handling that. You hate to say that they can't come in there without adult supervision, but it's really getting to that point because nobody should be subjected to that. And or we come up with a thing, once they do it, working with the fire department, they're ejected and they can't come back to the carnival. So we'll just have to look at a couple options. Other than that, it was a great night. Firework night. We had a good amount of people. The place was packed. And fireworks only lasted, I think Steve Miller said, 10 minutes and 28 seconds. I think it was supposed to last longer. I'm not really.
No, it was longer than the year before.
It was longer than the year before?
Last year, I think they said it was 7.
7? Yeah, so that ain't bad then. We got the traffic out. There was no real congestion. Had a few hiccups, but other than that, our biggest problem is coming out of Wilhelm and people crossing the street at the same time. We got the makeshift crosswalk up there, but you still get the people that are crossing on all different angles, and that kind of hems things up. But once we got that cleared out, we were pretty good. Things moved along. Overdoses, there's a 26% increase. There was a total of 186. Out of the 186, 168 are county residents. Manchester and those numbers had 5 year-to-date. Hampstead has 18. Sykesville has 3. Tawnytown has 8. Mount Airy has 4. Westminster has 57. New Windsor has 4. And Union Bridge had their first one for the year. Fentanyl is the biggest driving force with that. Fentanyl is coming in all shapes and forms right now, and that's the biggest driving force towards the overdoses. Year-to-date, we've had 17 arrests, which is a low, and it's something we're proud of. I mean, that's a good number to be proud of. And we have 6 Part 1 crimes. So those numbers are definitely good. As the mayor said, we have National Night coming up, so please come out. We got some good giveaways, and it's usually a fun night. That's a pretty good turnout. That's about it.
Thank you. Also, I will just say, our police department, I'll put them up against anybody in, well, not only Carroll County, but in Carroll County for sure. I watched at the carnival grounds, and they just handle everything so well, from dealing with the kids to some other, small minor things, but everybody handles it well. I had a lot of compliments, actually, about the police department. And let's not forget that we have a police officer that's now writing grants for us to save the town money.
Yes.
So, Sergeant Runk, thank you. Keep up the great work. We appreciate it. Okay. Questions or comments from the community? It looks like we have one person signed up. Ms. Anderson, would you come up to the microphone, please?
Last time I was here, I spoke about the feral cats in Whispering Valley. You said you were going to check into. I don't appreciate 2 days ago coming home and finding 3 cats on my sidewalk and my porch. Nothing's been done. The cats are still there. They're still defecating in my yard, my neighbor's yard. You know who the problem is. Why don't you fix it? You have stricter rules against dogs than you do cats.
Well,
Right.
oh, go ahead. You
Can I
can go.
respond?
Yes.
Ma'am, just to be clear with you, and I can't stress this enough, I did check into it. But it's not a police problem. That's not something police do. There's an animal control in this county. They also have a cat snip program. Are you aware? Because I think you told me you called the Humane Society, and they really didn't give you much
I've been
feedback.
through all the channels.
So Carroll County has a cat snip program, and in fact, they just did their 1,000 trap, neuter, and return, and that's basically what Maryland does. They trap the cat, they neuter the cat, they vaccinate the cat goes back to the colony. Now, they do have some type of program in there where if the cat becomes nuisance, I think they're working with a couple farms in the county where they release the cats to the farm, and they basically use them for rodent control. But as far as taking,
them
okay.
and putting them back into, it doesn't take
Ma'am,
care
that is-
of them using my yard for a litter box.
ma'am, I completely understand, but I'll be honest with you, the problem is bigger than everybody in this room. We're dealing with the state of Maryland. We, the police, do not deal with it. When we deal with dogs, it's normally because a dog bit a child or somebody else.
Well, cats can do.
Well, that comes about, we'll handle that case as well. But it's animal control, and Carroll County has went above. They do get grants, and they have this cat snip program. And from what I'm understanding, they've been pretty successful with it. I don't know if you've reached out to them, talked to them, maybe you can negotiate with them. It's also been brought to my attention that the person that you're talking about has been working with the town, and I think he has some type of reduction, and he's not claiming ownership to all the other cats. And if I'm correct, I think he said he's not feeding them anymore.
Yeah, he is.
Well, he came in this week,
Because I
and
see the plates out on the porch.
Right.
he came in this week and said that, and mentioned to the ladies that work in the office that he had it down to 2, and then it was back up to 5, but he is not feeding them, but he is trapping them. And I don't think questions were asked what he's doing with them, but he is trapping them to try to get rid of them. He
Well,
recalls
I
in
had
every
3
week.
of them on my sidewalk and on my porch. And when my dog tries to go through the glass door, I don't appreciate it.
I
That
wouldn't appreciate it
puts
either.
harm to my animals. And I'm going by the rule of the law. This has been going on for years. And I've lived in Whispering Valley for 36 years.
Have you reached out to the Humane Society?
I've talked to the Humane Society.
Because there's a lady there, I
You
think she
have to
goes
go
by the,
up there and get a trap, pay a $75 fee. You have to set the trap yourself, bring the cat up, where, you know.
how
This
about
costs
reaching,
money for me, gas-wise.
well, this shouldn't cost money. If you reach out and find out who's running the cat snip program, I think it's a lady by the name of Donna Babylon, if I'm correct with the name. Have the Humane Society put you in touch with them and go from there, because their program seems to be working. And the way I'm reading it, they're working with some farms in the area.
It's a problem. And returning them back doesn't solve anything. They still come and defecate in my yard. My grandkids play out there. My dog's out there. I go out there and do the lawn work, and I've got to run over cat crap. I shouldn't have to do that. I respect my neighbors. My dog stays in my yard. He's on a leash. I walk him. When he defecates, I clean it up.
Well, I think the best at this point, I think maybe we could try Chief's idea and let's see what they say and see if that'll help with the process. I mean, at least he was able to get some information and took his time to, try to find out for you. And certainly, if they come up with any other ideas, but Chief's correct. I mean, unfortunately, it's not a police issue. And
Well, why can't the town fine them? You fine people for late charges on dog tags,
we don't send fines out. That's not us. That's Carroll County.
$10 late fee.
That's Carroll County. That goes to the Carroll County Commission when you write the check. That doesn't, none of that has to do with Manchester. We just do it as a service for the county. So that's the Carroll County that does that. So, I mean, have you spoken to anybody within the county? I mean, other than like the Humane Society, but since it's obviously a bigger picture, they're setting the guidelines and things on what they're doing with the Humane Society and things like that.
Like I said, I've been through the Humane Society. I have not talked to this snip whatever. But I don't want them released back into the development. They carry diseases.
That's a Carroll County rule,
Well,
right?
no, actually, Carroll County's got no set law.
So it's a state.
It's a state. See,
we
the problem, the
experienced that in my
SPCA,
Yeah, you had the same problem, I
yeah,
remember.
the SPCA actually promotes the TNR, as they call it, the trap, neuter, return. And the only time they really step in is when they become a nuisance, which sounds like you have. But they even promote providing food, shelter, keeping track of them, making sure the colony's safe. So it's kind of like a catch-22 for everybody.
Maybe the Miss Baumgartner, I think you said?
I think,
Babylon,
I
Babylon.
think
excuse me.
it's Babylon.
Maybe she'll have some other ideas, or maybe you can speak to her and see if she, just tell her, say, it's to the point now that, it's kind of taking over my yard. What are the other options versus bringing them back?
Well, then maybe I ought to call the health department.
Certainly, you could, call anybody that can help.
Do you know the diseases that they carry that not only animals can get, but humans can get?
Yeah,
I
all animals,
researched it.
unfortunately,
It's
can carry
horrible.
diseases. Yeah. No, I totally understand. Like I said, Chief did what he said he would do, and he tried to find some information for you. So hopefully let's try that channel first and see where we can go.
The director of the Humane Society is Baker. And she should be well aware of the CAP SNP program.
And she's at the Humane Society.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep, she's a director.
That's all. Thank you. Is there anybody else from the committee that wants to speak at all? Has anything? Okay. All right. Planning and zoning?
There was no meeting this past month, so nothing to report.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Councilwoman Miller?
Right, first, I have two things. First, a thank you guys, excuse me, goes out to Mr. Mowdy Miller during the parade. Councilman Nazelride and I ran into some technical difficulties, and we ended up having to abandon ship. And thankfully, Mowdy helped us out and let us ride through the parade. It wasn't that we had an issue walking; it was that I didn't want our children who were with us to have to walk in the heat. So we appreciate him, whether he realized it or not, as we just kind of hopped on and said, "Here we are, let's go," kind of thing. So thank you to that. The second thing is we've talked a lot about National Night Out. We are still in need of face painters. I have reached out to the schools in the area. I have secured one of the art teachers has committed to be able to make it. I'm waiting to hear back from a couple others. They're reaching out to some of the students to see if they might be able to come out and help. Unfortunately, there's no way to know if the students check their email in the summer. I'm going to say probably not, but if you or someone you know is artistic, they are great at painting, we're looking for people to come out and help us on National Night Out. You can earn service hours for come-in if you need those. So just reach out to Town Hall and we'll get you taken care of.
Councilman Bocelli?
The North Carroll Business Alliance has a crab feast scheduled for July 22nd at the American Legion Hall in Hampstead. I think it's from 4 to 8.
Thank you. Councilwoman Howell's not here. Did she leave any information or anything with anybody? Okay. Councilman Azarod, do you have anything?
Communication is a big thing. I think this town runs really well overall from what I'm seeing. I want to commend the police department for being very transparent and that communication of everything that's going on and what we can do, and even asking the question based on the carnival, like what can we do to cut down on the profanity, which doesn't seem, it's kind of hard to enforce from a governmental agency, but that's more of a moral type deal with and putting it back on them. But I like that communication. I would also encourage residents to periodically check the Town of Manchester Facebook page because that updates things as well. I'll continue to share things on my neighborhood page and the major neighborhoods that have Facebook. Those seem to be the hubs of where we communicate the best. And also periodically check the town website so that has events coming up and what we need to do. And I think everybody in their own way can continue to promote like the town events, like the Manchester Carnival. I know I shared a few things and encouraged people to come out in any way that helps out a lot, and they communicated very well. As well. So, and then you want intergovernmental relations?
Whatever you have.
Okay. I haven't touched base with Rental Housing Appeals Board yet, but we're going to be adjusting that anyway. Intergovernmental relations. So for the Maryland Municipal League on June 15th, we had 3 town council members and the mayor attend. We were well attended for Manchester. We also had our commissioner and state delegate attend the parade and walk in the parade, and we'll be continuing at the Maryland Municipal League. Going back to that, they encouraged us to reach out and communicate with state delegates for anything we might need as well, to be in constant communication, which we will be, and everything's well attended by the town of Manchester. So it's good to see.
Yep. Thank you. One quick question. Are we, or I shouldn't say are we, I know we are, have we done anything with the youth representation? Are we working on that, or?
We have tried.
Okay.
I can try again. My son's a senior. I can talk to the ladies over at Man Valley and see.
That would be great. Just, it was
counselors.
nice to have somebody here when we had the last couple here. It was kind of neat to hear all the updates from school, because we don't always get them. Some of us have kids in school, but, it's nice to get the updates. So if you could.
A lot of the kids that were interested in doing it, I think, just got caught by sports and stuff like that
Yeah.
with the schedule, so.
Okay. Thank you. That would be great. All right. If there's nothing else, can we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good night.